So, I'm waiting for the System Shock remake. And on the meantime, I need to fucking quench my thirst for it, playing other immersive sims. So I played some Bioshock 2. It's really good. Better than the first one, in fact. Fight me, it's okay to be wrong. But since I did my playthrough of the demo, it's not the same. What I'm itching for is more open, more experimental, more willing to let you do whatever the fuck you want. So, yeah, I played Prey again. It's an amazing game. And I'm gonna talk and gush about how good it is. But that's not exactly what this video is about. When I started it again, I had a funny idea. What if I review this game? Not enough people played it when it came out. But then, I would be shilling a product made by a developer that no longer knows how to make decent games, and a publisher that deserve every game they put out to be pirated. And you would think, wow, this retard sure is salty about Deathloop. Yes, I am. Anyways, remembering this made me start thinking about something. During the last few years, I've seen opinions about Prey's lack of success. I've seen people say it's Bethesda's fault because they didn't make enough publicity. Or because they used the name Prey instead of Psychoshock to keep the rights of the Prey franchise. I think that is bullshit. The game had a decent advertisement campaign with a very good horror undertone that usually is more than enough to get people's attention. And my man-child brethren, in all due respect, no one fucking knows Prey. The 2006 shooter game, you want to know who remembers it? You and me, that's it. No one who would be interested in Prey 2019 would be misled by the naming. Because the ones that know what an Arcane Studios game is, know it won't be a shooter. And the ones who wanted a shooter were not going to buy an immersive sim. If anything, it might have actually raised the units sold. Still a mystery then? Well, let me pitch you something. What if I told you that people don't like immersive sims? Like, at all. And I know. Dishonored was profitable. Bioshock was very profitable. Human Revolution was extra profitable. How could you say something so stupid, Chonko? Let's go one by one. Bioshock was one of the first games of its generation. It had beautiful looking graphics. It was also a shooter. Yeah, you could hack, you could combo powers, you could take decisions. But it was a shooter with good graphics and an original atmosphere. And remember, Infinite made even more money, and it was actually just a shooter with zero immersive sim in the mix. Dishonored was a full-fledged immersive sim. But it was marketed as a stealth assassin game with cool powers. Do I have to remember you which was one of the most profitable video game series during the time of Dishonored? Deus Ex, Human Revolution, more of the same. Cool guy with cool glasses, guns, powers, stealth, and a beautiful looking environment. Another hit. And you know what all of them have in common? You can complete all of them without paying attention to any of the immersive sim aspects of them. You can shoot and slice your way through all of those games and have a very good time on a first playthrough, which is usually the only playthrough 90% of people that bought the game will ever do. And this is my point. Most people that buy games are casuals. And I don't say it in a derogatory way. It's an observation. People like those other immersive sims because they could play them like other games they knew and have fun. All of them had sequels that tried to have deeper gameplay, and no one gave a shit about them because the novelty already wore off. And all of them had publisher meddling during the development of those sequels because the decent success they had was not enough for AAA standards. That is what the infamous immersive sim curse is. So then, Prey comes out. It looks like futuristic Bioshock with horror. Is it futuristic Bioshock with horror? No. Can you play it like a horror game? No. Can you play it like a straightforward shooter game? No. Can you play it like a stealth game? Not exactly. Can you guess why Prey failed?
Good morning, Morgan. Today is Monday, March 15th, 2032.
You have probably heard about Prey's first 30 minutes. You have probably heard that it's one of the best starts to a video game ever made. Well, that is 100% true, so let's rush through it. You wake up in your bed. It seems like a perfect, beautiful day. A quick stroll around your room makes it obvious that your character is a scientist or engineer of some sort. It also seems that the access to your balcony is blocked, but let's not worry about that for now. I'm sure that's just a video game thing. You get called by your brother who seems happy that you are going to join his enterprise. You suit yourself in a futuristic-looking uniform and get a private ride to work in one of the most memorable opening credits sequences I've seen. Everything while you listen to Mick Gordon's beautiful soundtrack. Look, even your character thinks it's fire. Then Gabe Newell greets you and assures you that today's tests are going to be alright.
Dr. Bellamy's going to walk you through the process. You're in good hands.
Yeah, whatever
We'll be in
you...
orbit next week.
Shut the fuck up!
I promise.
Then they test you like you were a child?
Good morning, Morgan. I'm Dr. Bellamy. Looks like we have some tests to run through today. Probably not the kind of thing you're used to, I imagine, but trust me, you're going to do fantastic. Button when you're ready.
But the voice actor on this piece of shit is so good. So good.
Wonderful. You're absolutely fine. Let's move on to room B, then.
He sounds like he's gonna talk to me about my childhood traumas.
Take your time, relax, think it over. No, I'm kidding. You only have 9 seconds.
Look, is he? He's hiding behind the chair.
Any synaptic register? I'm sorry, can someone please explain to me what's happening? Simmons?
I installed exactly what Tina brought down.
Did you double check?
Speaker's still on.
I apologize, Morgan. We're having some trouble with the equipment. Not your fault. You're doing fabulous, actually. Can someone get me a cup of coffee? I would appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Morgan. Have a seat at the table for me, please. Wonderful job. Take a look at the screen in front of you. I'm going to show you a series of questions. Pick the answer that makes the most sense to you. This next part, I'm going to display an image. I want you to take a good look at it. In a moment, I'm going to ask you what... is my coffee? It's empty.
I absolutely adore how the game misleads you to this scare. The way you are conditioned to just follow instructions, how the screen shows this black strange painting, and the first time gets your attention away from this very obvious black tentacle becoming a fucking cup before your very eyes. But yeah, about misleadings, let's break the fourth... I think Prey has too much detail for its own good. Too much detail for just one person to be able to fully appreciate. When you finally discover what was going on, you can fully explore this lab. Read every email every worker received before and after the event. You can figure out how you were tricked. But you were not tricked by the game. You were tricked in the game. Touch it, it really works. The helicopter ride, it was all real. I mean, fake. You get what I mean. So the walls moved then? Now I know why I was seeing so much sussy stuff. This safe right here? A shame. Looks like the code was erased. But 20 minutes later, let's see how much the game rewards you for paying attention. You can figure out that whatever they were doing to you was not very safe, and had something to do with this creatures. How was I ever gonna hide in this room? Oh, that's how! Even the last words you heard before you were sedated were recorded. Here's the audio log. In 20 minutes, this game does more effort trying to get you inside its world that some games do in 50 hours. But we are not done here. The first enemy you fight in Prey will be a constant during the whole game, which is good. Making the very process of exploring and looting a prop hunt is at least fun when it stops being tense. And making the Mimic the most common enemy of the whole playthrough also justifies a very clever design decision that Prey has. Why does the crosshair lay low on the screen like in Halo? I've heard a lot of stupid takes regarding why Halo has a non-centered crosshair, but it's never managed to make any sense for me. But in Prey, let's say there was a Mimic here. See how much of the room you can still see while you attack it. And now let's see how much you can see if the crosshair was centered. What a brilliant design choice. Also, if you are not convinced yet that this game is not conventional, I present you the first gun.
Morgan, there, in the foyer. Grab the neuromod you see in the display case.
It does, not kill shit. It actually does 0 damage. You are a newbie that is trying Prey because it looks similar to BioShock. You get your first gun and can only do crowd control with it, so you use it for that function and stop experimenting. What the game tries to teach you here is that there are far more uses for it. Hey, the gravity lift might be broken, but the glue gun is even more broken. By the way, did you know that you can come back here whenever you want? And that glue stairs you just did will be there? You can play the game for 20 hours, come back, and they will still be there. This is the first level. I love it. Oh, excuse me, wrong game.
That I would absolutely fuck this girl. I would destroy Freckle Lady, Neuromod, publicity stunt, the girl. I would demolish her, like every single inch of her. Jesus fucking Christ.
Also, excuse my behavior here. You gotta understand, this is the first beautiful lady I've seen in an Arcane Studios game since Emily Caldwin. I would fuck Miss Yu too, but I have a feeling that she would probably inject me with weird shit while I'm sleeping. And not in a dummy mommy kind of way, just straight up alien tissue. This is it. This is the last big reveal till the end of the game. And it's also the moment where Prey stops holding your hand. It doesn't even give you a shotgun before fucking you sideways, so let's go get it ourselves. This place, this big beautiful hall, is where most people probably drop the game or they learn. Where they discover the joy of freedom or get smashed by the lack of direction. Because yes, there is a big HUD indicator that you should go to your office. But are you going to learn how to fight this big boy there? Exactly. That's what I thought. So let me explain. This is how you don't. Remember how I implied that Prey is pure immersive sim and not feasible to play with a shooter mentality? This is why. See how much he tanks? See how fast its projectiles are? You are not dodging this. You are not charging a full swing on its face. And you are most definitely not surviving a melee brawl with it. And no, it's not because you didn't loot enough medkits. If you fight like this, you won't have enough resources to survive on due time. You will soft lock yourself out of continuing this game. This is how you do. The Phantom did not even have a chance, because Prey is not a combat game. It is a problem-solving game, and enemies are problems. So let me solve them for basically the entire game. This shotgun, this boomstick, this exquisitely crafted machine, this unrivaled beast of a fucking gun is what I call the problem solver. But Chonko, didn't you say Prey is not a combat game? Well, being able to click on an enemy twice and sending them to wherever they belong, in a game where most battles consist of 2 or 3 enemies, is not exactly what I would call combat. This gun is a resource, and if you want to use it, you will need to save ammo for it. There is not a lot of ammo for it until later. Unless, of course, you solve the riddle of the safe and get the fabrication plan for its ammo. Now we are set, now we can shoot shit and replace the used bullets consistently. Can you see how someone who isn't exploring a lot misses this and gets curb-stomped by the game? But we ain't done here. We are gonna clear this whole block. Oh, those are a lot of mimics. Let me get out of the way. Doesn't seem like a good idea. Oh wow. Well, yeah, we can also use the environment against them. Now let's actually go to our office where we can do amazing stuff like dumping all the junk we have been stashing and transforming it into resources. And because no engineer has a man cave without a 3D printer, let's print some buckshot. Also, we left a message for ourselves. And not in a, I hope you're doing good, kid kind of way, not in a viral YouTube video kind of way, more in a, man, shit's fucked up kind of way. I hope I don't come across like I don't take Prey's story seriously. I do. It is really decent. And it goes places far further into the journey. But there is a problem. There is not a lot of it. So I would be making you a disservice by talking about it unless I was making a full review. So I'll leave the details out just for you. Because this video is not about that. It's about the kind of mindset you need to use to progress in Prey. I don't want you to try the game and think, wow, this is too difficult or too complex and leave it to die.
You're not gonna like what I have to say next.
I had that same experience 7 times in a row till I got the game, and while I think the game has some fault in that, I really believe that I was trying to play it like it was BioShock. Anyways, look, here is a cool pistol. This is the first gun that the game actually intends you to find without exploring. It also gives you the fabrication plan for its bullets. The thing is, the shotgun fucking owns it 90% of the time. The only 2 things the pistol is better for are saving resources when killing mimics and doing critical strikes from stealth. It's a way to not go broke with how many shotgun shells you will end up using. And you would think, but we will find more guns anyways. I now have 2 of the 3 guns that exist in Prey, and the third one is a secret that we have to find in the next level. When I said you cannot play Prey like a straightforward shooter, I was not kidding. But let's keep exploring and loot everything you can. You can find keycards for rooms. You can find codes in computers and riddles to open whole sections, storage rooms or safes. Get all the junk you can. Don't be afraid of using your neuromods on an inventory upgrade. Also get some recycling upgrades. The more shit you can carry, and the more resources you can get out of that shit the earlier into the game, the better your experience will be in the long run. But be careful when looting. Oh yeah, the mimics can also turn into pickups. Do you hate them enough now? See this doorway? Yeah, there is no way we are getting in without using neuro modes to get the strength upgrade, unless, during your exploring, you found some recycling charges. Yeah, it's a pocket black hole that transforms anything into resources. That includes your enemies, and yourself. There's an achievement for recycling yourself, by the way. 10 out of 10, I would play this weird game again. And don't have any doubts that there are more ways to get into this office than what I just told you, but I don't want to lay it all down. I want you to download this game and find them yourself. Just like I found this pack of 4 fucking neuromods in this office. And no shit, they explain why those are here. Some people at the station started a smuggling ring with neuromods. You can find all the emails. The emails from the smugglers. The emails from the people investigating the smuggling. You can even find the secret smuggler stashes everywhere in the station. Do you see why I said that this game has too much detail for just one person to fully appreciate? And in this office, we can also find the mightiest of all weapons. And no, the game is not making fun of the fact it does not have guns. This beauty is capable of feats that no gun could even dream of, like distracting enemies or the actual main use for it. If you have a line of sight to a button or a screen, this thing will fix your problem. I've seen people get crazy creative with it, so now it's time to show you how I miss every single shot when trying to sequence break an earlier room in the first level. But that's not the reason I'm back on the first level. Remember what I told you about backtracking? Yeah, those glue stairs are gonna come in handy now. This place I want to get in, and I found the code somewhere in the main lobby, but it's not the only way to get in. You can level up hacking to get in, which I've done other times, and there is probably like other 10,000 ways to get in, because this is Prey we are talking about. I've heard you like atmospheric video games. Yeah, I'm not showing this whole part, just the important stuff. I want you to experience it by yourself. If you learn to correctly use your glue gun, you will soon find yourself in another section, where a new kind of enemy shows up. It likes machines more than Linus Tech Tips. On the other hand, I'm a software engineer, so I fucking hate machines. You know what I like? Electromagnetic pulses. Time to use that mighty crossbow. This is where dreams come true. A fabrication plan for neuromods? If you don't explore, you miss important stuff like this. From now on, for every enemy you kill, you get some alien matter. And you can turn that alien matter into neuromods in fabricators. So you have now successfully unlocked an experience system. This fucking game is willing to let you lose such an important part of the experience for not exploring. And. The guy in charge of manufacturing the neuromods committed suicide when he discovered the origins of the neuromatter. So if you don't pause this process in his computer, the license expires and you can only craft like 4 of them. Do you see now why Prey failed? But it is so good, man! Now we have a big gun and a crack house worth of neuro needles. What now, game? Oh, drones. The shotgun is bad against them. I wonder if I... Yes, the taser gun, which only stunned alien enemies, absolutely fries electronic enemies. You have probably realized now that the first third of Prey is a battle for information. How do I get in here? How do I get this item? How do I kill this enemy? And yeah, there is a puzzle aspect to it. Once you solve an enemy, that enemy won't be a problem anymore as long as you have the tools and the execution. That is why I keep saying that this game is not like other immersive sims. You can play it like BioShock, but you gotta earn it and learn it, and it's gonna take a while. You find your shotgun in BioShock in a mandatory part of the main quest, and then you just buy ammo for it in any shop. As you have seen, Prey is not like this. It almost never gives you the solution to a problem. It always asks more and more of you, and that is why I find it so satisfying, because you can always learn something new. Like taking a look at this ventilation conduit and realizing, oh, the glue gun can stop leaks! You just need to never assume. Don't assume you have fully found every single item in this room. Maybe you just need to take a closer look. I don't want to show this level. It's one of my favorites in the game and has some memorable stuff. So I'll just let you know that yes, the third gun in the game is in here. This is it. You want it? Go look for it. And remember, if you are not successful the first time, you can always come back here and it'll be waiting for you to find it. I don't like it much, but I've never invested in it. But hey, I'm sure it fucks when acquiring the proper abilities. And talking about acquiring abilities, I have one last thing to show you. On the next zone of the station, you will find yourself blocked out of an entrance until you find certain device. So you will need to get a psychoscope. A device which your main character invented time before being put in the simulation. What is its purpose? Well, it's a Pokedex.
Use it to scan the Typhon organisms if you want to learn what makes them tick. You invented it, by the way.
This section of the ship was a huge secret because those strange aliens, they didn't invade the station. The fucking scientists were experimenting with them. So much, in fact, that it is not allowed to get into the lab without the psychoscope, because imagine what would happen if a mimic were to get out. Oh yeah, we know what happened. This whole game happened. With this device, you will suddenly be able to find what the weaknesses of the enemies are. And if you scan them enough times, it will research them. And what does this research give you? Remember that stupid projectile that the Phantoms had? How about you give them some of their medicine? Yes, this game, like every game in the Shock franchise, and like Dishonored, has powers. And it is not scared of making you wait till maybe 4 hours in to let you get them. And even then, it asks you to earn every power. You want to do the cool shit enemies do? Find them and study them first. And by the way, you can absolutely complete the game with just human abilities. Not only is it possible, it is even encouraged by some characters in the story, and acquiring these powers will have consequences, let's say.
What's happening? Don't let them do this to you.
So because of this and many more reasons, Prey is an absolute masterpiece of a game that most people won't like. And that's why it failed, in my opinion. Prey is a game that gives you a closed door and lets you fire a toy crossbow at the touchscreen of the computer to try to open it. But because you failed, you gotta get creative. And become a goddamn jumping cup to use some boxes as a set of stairs in order to get through the window. If that is something that interests you, maybe, just maybe, all of this years later, you could consider playing it. That will be all, folks. I'm gonna go back to drinking some Monster Energy Ultra and playing shitty games while I wait for a false messiah. It's already March. It's never gonna come out, isn't it?